When I was just a little boy, I asked my father, what will I be? Will I be handsome? Will I be rich? Is what he said to me.
Good evening and welcome to the Relishing Dead podcast, where we devour everything in the TWD universe and beyond. I'm Dawn.
Oh, that's me. I'm Eliza.
I'm Barb.
And I'm Carol.
And we like to welcome, we're on the camp page live tonight. And also I think we have several from groups that are joining us tonight. So we'd like to welcome you all to the show. And tonight's guest has 181 credits in film and television in a 38-year career span, 12 award nominations, 6 wins. You may know him from Oz, Sons of Anarchy, Z Nation, which is one of my favorites, or Lost. But now he is the lead in MGM's global hit show From. We like to welcome Harold Perrineau.
Yay!
Hey, there I am. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
Well, thanks for having me on. I'm
Glad
so
to have you
excited.
here. Start off, Carol has a picture to throw up there.
I do.
Oh,
Look at how cute.
this is
So
one of my
first off,
favorites.
Harold, I
What'd you say?
wanted to thank you so much for being so awesome to meet in person.
Oh,
Letting me that was actually Kingston, Tennessee.
right.
And I geeked out meeting you because I think you're such a fantastic actor. So I wanted to thank you for that.
No,
It was
thank
a
you.
pleasure.
My wife had a lot of questions about that picture.
Oh,
just saying.
Blah,
we'll
blah.
talk later. No.
What's going on? No.
But allowing me to geek out, I was wondering really quick if you actually, in your career, have met anybody that you actually geeked out on meeting an actor.
Oh, like all the time. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. One of the first, I did this film called this is really the whole thing is gonna sound stupid. I did this film called The Edge, and so it was with Alec Baldwin and Anthony Hopkins.
Ooh.
And while I was super excited about meeting Alec Baldwin, we were both geeking out about Anthony Hopkins, and so we were sort of like vie for his attention. Hey Tony, can I ask you a question? You're gonna like, no, Tony, hey. We geeked out about that, and then at the premiere, I was walking down the hall, and somebody said, "Boy, that bear ate you!" And I turned around, and it was Morgan Freeman.
Oh, I love him.
And I had 0 words. I was just, I stood there. He's like, "Are you okay?" Sure.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's another one of my favorites.
Oh my God, I love Morgan Freeman. So
My
yeah,
pleasure.
I definitely geek out. So
Well, I thank you.
and I didn't feel like you geeked out. That was
Come on, I was crying on your shoulder.
Well, there's that part.
Sorry, Brittany.
Sorry.
We want to welcome everybody in the comments. We have a lot of
Yes.
people that are saying hi. This is exciting. Welcome, Harold. We do have several Patreons that support our podcast.
Mhm.
This is, let's see, where is she? There she is. Her name is Pam Blythe.
Hi.
And she's fantastic. She's one of our Patreons. And then, of course, I had to show this picture of you and Dawn.
Exactly.
Love it. And at some point later during the show, Eliza, we did collect a couple of videos from some of our Patreons, and we're going to be playing those for you as questions for you.
Okay.
So we have those to show.
Nice.
Let's see. So we're just going to kind of go through some of these. Oh, I have to show this one because this is super cute.
I cried. Yeah.
Right, because you couldn't be there that day, right?
That's
Right.
correct. Yeah, I couldn't
Right.
be there. And they just called me and they said, "Are you busy?" And then they just hand you the phone. And I'm like, oh my God. You know, I look like one of the creatures. And
No.
I was like, but thank you for that. It was the highlight. So let's talk about when you were 12. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, let's discuss that.
So your career is so expansive, and there's just, it would take us 4 hours to talk about everything, but you have a degree from the Shenandoah Conservatory, and then you're a part of the alum of the Alvin Alley Dance Theater. So you have developed yourself as an actor, a dancer, a singer, a musician, and a director. Your first television debut came The Fame Dancer in 1986.
Oh my goodness.
And then your film debut was in Tommy in 1988, in a movie called Shakedown.
Uh-huh.
But your biggest role for you, kind of branching you out, your breakthrough, was as Augustus Rush in Oz.
Augustus Hill, yeah.
Yeah, the first series that HBO ran.
Yeah.
And I had heard that you called your mom when you got this role. So why did we call mom?
I didn't call her when I got the role.
Okay.
So I did call her one night. So in Oz, okay, so it was the first show on HBO, and it was a lot of stuff that we hadn't seen on TV. And one of the things that Oz did was a lot of male frontal nudity.
Oh.
And so
I need to go watch that again.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yes, you do, Lisa. Yes, you do.
I'll be right back.
and so the night that I had to do it, where I, because they're all criminals, or they're all in prison, I should say, and my character is actually having sex with a woman when the police break in, and I jump out of a window, and they chase me up to a roof where I finally get arrested, and I'm naked, and they throw me off a roof, right? But the whole filming process was it was hours of like running around naked, and cameramen literally underneath my legs, like filming it. And there were people, we were in New York City, so you could see people from their window. And when I left at 4 in the morning, I called my mom. I was like, Mom, okay, look, I know you're sleeping. I've never done this before. It's not pornography. It's not. I just needed to explain to her that, it was art. It's art. It's real art.
Yeah, I'm getting paid good money, Mom. Yeah.
Did she understand?
So I didn't call her when I got the role. I called her, and it was pretty early on, and I was like, I gotta let her know.
Did she understand?
Huh?
Did she understand?
Yeah, she was like, boy.
She's like, yeah, no, that's not what it is.
Yeah, but I left that place and found
things.
the only bar still open, and just had a drink. So, oh God, this is gonna be it. Over.
One of my favorite roles that you ever did.
Oh,
I love Mercutio. And so I had a question for you about this. So the dancing in the heels and all of that, how many takes did it take to do that scene where you come out and you're just as flamboyant and doing your thing? Because I got to tell you, men in drag is one of my. If a man can pull off drag, that is one of the sexiest fucking things I've ever seen. And Mercutio is one of the best roles ever to do that, because I'm a Tim Curry fan. Yeah, right? I'm a Tim Curry fan, baby. So when you came out that flamboyant, I was like, oh, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So
with that, it wasn't a bunch of takes. It was a lot of takes because it was a giant scene,
right.
And the choreography was giant. And so I did go to the Alvin Ailey School, which I think you mentioned earlier. And so I was a pretty proficient dancer, but I really, really wanted to be an actor. So there was a time when I didn't dance. Nobody knew I danced. Because if they meet you as a dancer, they kind of think you can't act. So, or if they meet you as an actor, they think you can't dance. And so when I got the role, and I was going over there to Mexico with Baz, he's like, "We've got this whole thing from Mercutio. What do you think about dancing in high heels?" And I was like, "Girl, that's all you got to say." So I was super excited.
Fantastic.
So they were pretty shocked that I knew how to dance and I could dance in those heels. At Ailey, we actually had to learn how to. A lot of the male dancers had to do point work just because, like, we were really well-rounded. They're
Shit, I can't
really
even walk
well-rounded
in heels.
dancers. So yeah, so not only in heels or point shoes. I can't do it anymore, but yeah. So it was pretty good, and it hurt pretty good though. Those are long days, but we got it done for sure.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
That's great.
Now, you had said that a couple of your influencers, I know you talked to us a little bit off screen about, working with Anthony Hopkins on The Edge, but you had said some actors who were really influencers of yours was Sidney Poitier, Denzel Washington, and Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
What was it about those particular actors that influenced you, and how would you say they helped shape you as you moved through your career?
Interestingly enough, Lawrence Fishburne is actually one of my best friends in the whole world. We wound up working on The Matrix together. We had actually done something way before, but we became friends. Our kids became friends on The Matrix. And one of the things that I really, really loved about each one of those actors is their command of the language and their grace with the, they're all so proficient and can do anything, and the amount of technique that they have that's seamless within their work. I was like, that's what I want to do. Like, I don't want you to ever see me act ever, but I want to be able to do it all. And those are actors that can do it all. They can do anything, and you don't see the work. It's just there. And so
Right.
That's one of the things. I was doing a scene with Lawrence Fishburne in The Matrix, and we had to run from one place to another place, and when we were running, I slipped, and I thought the director was going to say cut, but Lawrence turned back around, came and got me and pulled me, and I was like, exactly, that's what I want to do. Like, he never stopped, never broke temp. Like, that's what you would do in the moment. And then I kept going, and that was the day I learned, like, you're always there, you're always in it. And that's how, like, the great ones, Kim, Sidney, like, that's how they do it, like, always in it. And so Denzel just blows my mind. Yeah. So that's what it was. That's
amazing.
Awesome.
We are the Relishing the Dead podcast, and so we have done a focus a lot mainly on The Walking Dead. And a little trivia bit was that you had some conversations with the showrunners about a particular role. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I actually had two conversations with them. When they very first started off, they said, we're going to be doing a zombie thing in Atlanta, and we need a dad and a son. And I had just gotten off of Lost. And so I was like, zombies, Atlanta, dads, not for me. But it wound up being The Walking Dead. I was like, holy smokes. Missed it. But then the next time they came around, I don't know the character's name, but he has long dreads. Ezekiel, that's right. It was Ezekiel's. That's his name. And they were really, really interested in me coming in to play that. But I had a couple of other things that were going on at the time, and so I had to pass on that one. But I was kind of excited to come in. I have a bunch of friends that work on the show, and so it would have been really, really cool. And but I had some other stuff that I was already involved in.
But there was another hit series that you were involved in for a number of years that are actually the creators of the one you're in now, but you were in Lost.
That's right. Exactly, yeah.
You actually worked on that with your wife, Brittany.
She actually did. She played a role opposite Josh Holloway, who's one of my best friends as well, like, from the show. Yeah, she's on it.
but yeah, we loved you in Lost, and of course there's a lot of people who are like, were you happy with the ending of it? I don't think anybody was actually happy with the ending of Lost. But I
They
think
really were.
knowing that you work with Griffin and Bender on Lost is a really nice segue, because we want to spend as much time as we can on your current global phenomenon.
Global phenomenon.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do want to throw this up. We want to talk about this real quick before we get into the obvious show. For those of you who are on here tonight,
That's my love.
Harold's little girl Aurora she is premiering in a show called Chaos tonight, and she plays a character called Eurydice.
Riddy.
And she likes to be called Riddy on the show.
Mhm.
And Jeff Goldblum is in it, and the previews look very cool.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
And
And
so-
she's
I'm
gorgeous.
super excited for her, and she's in London right now. They were there for the premiere and just sending us pictures the whole time, and yeah, she's so good in it, and we've seen the whole show, and I just couldn't be happier for her. She really
Yeah.
found the thing that she loved to do, and it was act, and she worked on it a lot with her mom. She didn't want to work on it with me. Okay. But and she found some really great teachers here. She's so good as Riddy, and I hope if you guys get a chance to check it out. It's on Netflix right now.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
yeah,
Yeah.
Chaos. It's great.
we
You
have
said
a couple of
Netflix?
pictures.
Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I don't know that a lot of people know this, but Harold was also on Sons of Anarchy.
That's right.
He played a bad Mamma Jamma on Sons of Anarchy.
He's a bad guy.
Bad dude.
Yeah.
So, Harold, out of all the characters that you've ever played, aside from, let's keep from out of it,
Okay.
what character do you think is more like yourself as Harold?
Oh, it's more like myself.
Mercutio.
Well, lots of people, it's really interesting. Lots of people would meet me and they think they're about to meet Mercutio, and I'm so boring. I'm so not him. They're always really disappointed. Like,
No way.
you don't have any ecstasy? Nothing? Like, no.
I'm going to ask Brittany if you can rock a
drugs,
teddy. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to ask Brittany if you can rock a teddy. That's all I want to know.
Right.
Yeah, without the characters from. Who would you say?
Let's see. Like one of the, I don't know if there's a lot of characters that are a lot like me, but one of the most challenging jobs I had, but I really had a great time because it was so challenging, is I was in a show called Claws where I play the brother of Niecy Nash, and he's autistic, and he's such a good-hearted character, and with a lot of really technical, tricky things for the actor to play. So I don't know that he's like me, but I wish I could be that as good a person as that guy is. So, but yeah,
Didn't you win an award from the NAACP for that one?
I did. I won a best supporting actor award for that. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But I really enjoyed playing. It was hard at first. It was hard throughout, but I really enjoyed playing it. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of agree with Carol. I'm thinking maybe somewhere deep down inside of you, it's Mercutio, because I think you actually said somewhere in an interview that it was a dress that helped you define your self-confidence and tap into the weirdo Harold.
But not from that.
Okay.
There's a movie called Woman on Top. It's me and Penelope Cruz and Mark Feuerstein. And I actually play a trans person. They call it was different at the time that I shot it, but I think now that the name is trans. And so I still had my dreads, but we extended them, and they cemented these nails onto my hands. So for 2 months, I just kept poking myself in the face. But the character was an artist, right? And so we had an amazing makeup artist do my face, and I had to always sort of be looking for like art in the world, and the dresses and stuff that I had to wear as Monica, they kind of like I got so into it that I was like, oh, I really like just to being your authentic self must be an amazing feeling. Do you know what I mean? And it actually helped me to stop being so scared to be whoever I am. And so, but it was from that movie that like playing that character, I learned that like this idea of just being who you are, and just so then I was just like, oh, okay, I'm a weirdo, so let that weirdo be. And I don't know if that's worked for me or not, but that's certainly who I let fly after that.
Girls, we want to play a Patreon question, or you guys have something
Sure.
else? Right.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So this is from our Patreon, Destiny Larimore.
Okay.
Hi, Harold. My name is Destiny. Just wanted to welcome you to Relishing the Dead podcast tonight with my girls. Gotta represent. Just wanted to say that I really liked you in Lost, and I've absolutely loved you in From. I think this show is freaking amazeballs. My question for you is, if you could work with any actor or actress that you've always wanted to work with and never got a chance to, who would it be?
That's a great question.
Yep.
Look, there are so many great actors and actresses. So I don't want to ever leave anyone out. But if I got the chance to work with Meryl Streep, I wouldn't be mad at that.
I wouldn't be mad either.
I would never be mad at that. I worked with Leo, and he talked about working with Meryl Streep, and I was just the most jealous I could ever be of anything else he did. He's beautiful. He's blonde. None of that. You work with Streep. That's
So
that's what I would love.
I'll just put it out there, and I'll say I'm going to cross my fingers for The Devil Wears Prada 2.
I get to do it with Streep in a dress.
Yes.
That's
Yes, there we go. There we go.
That'd be it.
We have one more Patreon question for you.
Okay.
Maybe.
I gotta do some clicking and jigging.
Hey, so excited to be on the podcast tonight. Love the work that you guys are doing in From. Quick question for you. When you're selecting roles, is there a particular genre that you prefer over the others? If so, why? And really looking forward to the next season. Thank you.
That's really interesting. So this is, I think, kind of interesting. I usually love to pick roles that are real character studies, and so that's usually in like a thriller space, or like Oz, like we're taking on a real subject, and so I usually like doing that. And I almost never ever do horror, ever. But this one was so interesting because it really was it's so much more character driven than many other ones that I'd seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And once I start asking the question about like who the real monsters are, then I was like, oh, I'm really in. This is, are those the monsters? Am I the monster? like I'm not. In that first season, I know I played a lot with it. The way Boyd was so angry and kind of aggressive, and how he was with Tom, I think, is the first character, slapping him, and so like I was like, who's the bad guy here? And I didn't, and I like that question. So that's usually, I like to pick things where characters are really you question, you have questions about who they are as human beings, because it actually makes me a better person, actually, because everybody's a human being. And so whenever I meet people who like questions about the way they are, I can go back and realize, and like, they're a human being. It all starts from kind of the same place. So it helps me out a lot. and that's why I picked those roles.
Well, as we get into talking about I have two quotes about you.
Okay.
From Jack Bender. He describes you as a wonderful maypole and that you carry a deep well of integrity without broadcasting it.
Oh.
And from our podcast with Liz, she describes you as being a real lead who sets the tone for the show, who is a gracious leader and an amazing actor.
Oh.
And, the Walking Dead world, we hear that a lot about Andrew Lincoln, who was the lead on the show.
Right.
And we heard that not only from Liz, but also from Scott, as well as from Jamie, how you're just so very gracious on set with everyone, and that you set the tone, that you're not like, I'm the one on the marquee, and you guys, that you're very gracious and with a lot of deep integrity.
Oh, wow. Those are really nice. Those are nice things to hear. I really try hard to, I've worked on a lot of sets. I've worked with a lot of big stars, and the ones that have always felt the best when you work with Anthony Hopkins, and just one of the greatest in the world, and he's so gracious. I remember calling him Mr. Hopkins, Sir Anthony, and he was like, "Call me Tony," and I was like, "Okay, Tony." Like I was such a, but that allows you to, like, something about that kind of humanity, just like you don't have to worry about his ego ever. We can all get there and just do the work.
Right.
And at the end of the day, that's what we're going to be remembered for, right? The work, not my ego. Not like that's not going to be on the screen. The work's going to be there. And so I try really hard to do that. I like working like that. I like working with people like that. And it's really nice to hear that people say that about me, because then it means that, I'm not, it's work, that what I think I'm doing, I'm trying to do is, like, people are noticing it
and definitely responding to. Sure.
Yes. Now I'm
Right.
tearing up.
Yeah.
No crying, relishing the.
After we met you at Kingston, Dawn and I talked you up, and there was been nothing other than just Harold. It's all been about you. You're fantastic.
Yes.
Barb, you got to watch out for me. You.
In fact, Barb is starting a hashtag. Instead of WWJD, what would Jesus do? It's WWBD, what would Boyd do? So that's, for everybody listening, that's the new hashtag, WWBD, what would Boyd do?
Okay,
She's getting me a mug like that.
And this is our last Patreon question, and then we'll fall down the rabbit hole with you.
Let's do it.
Hi, Harold. I am a huge fan of the show, and I am so excited that you're here tonight. My question for you is, if you, as Harold, were to land in the world of From, which character would you most be like? Would you be like Boyd, or would you be like one of the other characters? Which one and why?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. If I landed in the world of From, like Boyd did with his family, I probably would be most like Boyd. I'm really protective of my girls and my family, and hopefully I'll never be in a position to have to shoot my wife, ever.
Brittany, did you hear that, Brittany?
ever. But I reckon I would most be like that, because I think Boyd is he's just trying to figure it out. He really is, like, pulling every tool out of his tool bag to figure out what's going on and trying to get them out of there. And so I'd probably be. Before that, I thought, like, maybe I wouldn't be, like, I'd be wacky and I'd live in Colony House, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Yeah.
You do a great job as Boyd, and you make it so believable. How did the role start out for you? Did you, were you called for it? Did you?
Right. So a good friend of our family, Seth Yankowitz, was casting the show, and he and Brittany, my wife, are like besties. They talk every day, I'd say. And he said he's casting this show. This is really interesting. He said he's casting this show. There are a couple of characters, but he wondered like if it felt like if it felt not racist. If it felt it reminded him of a show called Wayward Pines, right?
Yeah.
And in Wayward Pines, Terrence Howard plays the sheriff.
Mhm.
Right.
And he was like, does it feel like I'm just trying to copy Wayward Pines if I would like to talk to Harold about this? And she was like, well, no. Is he like, what kind of character is it? And he told her, and she's like, it sounds exactly like Harold. He's like, that's what I think. It sounds like him. And so he sent it to me. And he asked me if I liked it, and I really did. I was like, this is great. Who's doing this? He's like, well, Jack Bender and Jeff Pinkner. I was like, great, I know them. He's like, well, not so fast.
No.
They don't really want to cast anybody from Lost. I was like, oh, no.
Oh,
He's like, because it'll feel too similar. And I was like, wow, okay. Well, okay, well, let's just mention it anyway. Let's talk to him about it. And they did. And at first they said, no, I don't think so. And then Seth kept going back and saying, I think this is the guy. And Jack was like, you know what? You're right. And so then they all called me up and it's like, what do you think? I was like, I think I want to do it. I think I want to work with you guys again. I think this would be really awesome. And so then we talked about where we thought Boyd came from and how we thought Boyd maybe should look and all these other things. And so that's how it started. And they knew my work well enough, and we just jumped right in.
Yep, you definitely sold the part.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
there's really only, I think, of one other show that has captivated audiences from the very first episode, and that was The Walking Dead. But the first episode of this, and you're done. You are in Fromville. You are brought into the town with everybody else, and there's no getting out for us.
Yeah. I mean, they kill a kid 10 minutes in. A child.
Yeah. Yeah. We saw the tree. We were stuck.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Did Jack tell you about the night that there was a big storm and he ran into a tree leaving the set?
Oh, Jamie?
Jack. Bender. Jack Bender did. And he just freaked out. He fully freaked out. He's like, you guys have to move that tree. You got to move the tree now.
Well, it's funny because we have a lot of people on the From MGM Plus TV show Facebook page. And it's got a huge following. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because just about every day, somebody will post a picture of a fallen tree. And they'll say, well, that's it. I'm out.
Nice knowing you.
Yeah. It's pretty hysterical.
That's pretty funny.
Hell,
I'm telling you, those things start to feel really scary. Like your little towns start to feel scary.
Yeah.
Trees.
It's just a simple tree. Why doesn't anybody just go over it?
Right.
Or go around.
Yes.
Just go around the tree. It's not that hard.
Yeah. It's just a tree. Yeah.
I love it. That's so funny.
Wesley Hale in the comments said I couldn't see anyone else play Boyd, and we happen to agree. Yeah. And there are a few roles on television that you see that. And again, Andrew Lincoln from TWD being Rick Grimes. There are a few roles that you can never picture anybody else playing that role. And Harold Perrineau as Boyd nails it.
Thank you.
Yes. So let's go ahead and talk about From, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Frederico Vasquez is part of the From group, and he wants to know, and this is kind of even going into it, how do you and the cast feel about a show that is, really 2 seasons in? We haven't got the release of the 3rd season, that has just blown ass up on the global stage without being on a major network or a major streaming network. I mean, I know it can be found through MGM on Prime, but it takes a little navigating to find it. So it's it's just blown up. How are you and the cast how are y'all reacting to that?
Well, So for us, it still feels a little like we're on this tiny show that could. Do you know what I mean? Because it really is blowing up globally. So it's not as in your face as if it were like all happening in the States. All right. And so I think we're all still like surprised when somebody sees a thing. It's like the most searched show, and we'll be like number 4 in that list of like really great shows. And we're like, oh wait, that's us. And so I think we're all still coming to grips with it, if I'm being honest. We're all just like, oh, okay, all right, we're really doing it. And John Griffin, who writes the show, he's always talked about it being a show that was going to take like 3 seasons before it like takes off. And I got a feeling he's been right about that, because when you guys see season 3, you're going to be like, what actually is happening right now?
Right.
Like,
Harold, we're already doing that.
Yeah.
No, wait till season 3 is dark and funny and then dark again. And so it really got ratcheted up for this 3rd season, and we shot it in the winter, and so it looks beautiful. I didn't expect it to look as beautiful as it looks. It looks beautiful, but it's a bit horrifying this year.
Good.
Yeah. So you're like great.
Yeah. If I don't make any bones about it, man, give me blood, give me gore, give me mayhem and destruction.
Wow. Yeah, how do you ladies like that? You're all so beautiful, like you're like just like so calm, and you're like, I want horror, I want blood and guts.
Me and Carol like the best. It's like Hostel and Saw movies.
Yeah.
More blood and guts, the better.
Absolutely.
Where does that come from?
I don't want anybody to live at the end of it. I want everybody to die. I don't want any survivors. I want them all gone.
We were like, put him in the box. Put him in the box.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, you guys are cool.
Yeah, we're savage. We're like, Sarah's ass in the box. Sarah's ass in the box.
Throw the kids in there too. Grandma in there.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Now, wait, let me ask you a question. I know you're asking me questions. Do you all live near each other?
No. I'm in Northwest Arkansas.
Okay.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh.
Northeast Kentucky.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm in Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought. Oh, so you guys all just met through The Walking Dead,
Yes.
and have become great friends and produced this really beautiful show.
Yeah.
Like your show.
We
This is
traveled
great.
together. Like me and Dawn just went to go see you, and now we're all going to another convention, and we've gone to location tours on The Walking Dead. Absolutely. And these every Monday recently, I don't know if you know this, we've been dissecting From. We've been going through each episode.
Oh, I didn't actually know that.
Yeah.
During our break of Walking Dead, because there's no spin-offs or anything, we've been going through From.
Wait, are there no Walking Dead spin-offs anymore? Or
Yeah.
There is, but they're not. Go ahead.
They are, but they're not showing right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So in the break, we've been dissecting From, and we're now in the 2nd season. And what episodes are we on, Barb?
7, 8.
Yeah.
7, 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, you're in it. Okay.
Season 2.
And then come September 22nd, I think, is when From premieres.
Yeah.
We'll all be glued to our televisions because.
So wait, do you break them down live here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every Monday night.
You guys
Yeah,
are more
and-
impressive every second.
And
Every
we
second.
had so much fun with Liz and Scott. And in fact, they're going to come back on together in October, and that's going to be a hoot and holler.
Oh, nice. Can I come with them?
Yes, you can come with them. The more
Nice.
the merrier.
Nice. I love those people. I'd love to. be on with those
Are
guys.
you surprised? I mean, at the fan base. I mean, we travel to conventions, and at every convention we go to, we tell the convention owners, you've got to have the From cast. You got to have the From cast. You got to have the From cast.
Yeah.
You guys are just you're huge, and everybody is clamoring to meet all of you as much as they were The Walking Dead back in 2010, in the early years. So
I think that's really nice. I hope if they're not seeing this now, I hope the cast gets to see this, because they should know that. They should feel that, because they all work so hard. Our cast, our crew, like everybody works so hard, like, and no egos. Like if we need to rehearse outside, you don't always find that in many shows, but like we'll go to somebody's house or a restaurant or sit down and like, oh, how do we work this out? How do we make this like get better or stuff like that? And so,
well, we want to have all of the cast on. So if you can put in a good word for us, Sheriff Boyd, we would.
I'm gonna put in the best word.
Elisa, show him your doll.
So we have a wonderful lady who creates crochet dolls, and she just made me a Boyd doll.
No way. Let me say.
Way. And he's got a little bell and everything.
I love it. I want a Boyd doll.
Yeah, it's a little Boyd doll.
And I have Victor, and he has the little lunchbox too.
That's awesome. She made that one too?
Yes.
And I have an artist friend whose name is Kirk Manley, and I commissioned him about 3 months ago. Paid a pretty penny for it, but he did a piece of artwork for hopefully you can see that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We're giving away prints of that tonight, and I've sent a print of it to Jamie and Liz and Scott, and so I'll reach out to you after, because I would love to get a copy of this to you as well. That's
awesome. That's great. Look, that's really, you paid for that, huh?
Oh yeah.
Representing.
Yeah.
Holy, I didn't even notice that. That's what that is. Oh wow.
And
you
here's
guys
the thing.
are the real deal.
You need to have a
real deal.
We're upset.
I'm blown away. You guys this is the real deal.
Yes.
Seriously, I wish everybody could be on this right now with me, because I'm blown away by what's happening right now. Thank you guys.
That's how we are. But you need to have a come to fucking Jesus meeting with MGM, because they need a merchandise store.
Yes.
Yes. Right.
We buy it out.
I keep listen, I have had so many conversations with them, like, what's happening? They're like, well, yeah, we're gonna like, I'm like, please, I know that folks are clamoring on Instagram. They're always hitting me up, Facebook, like all the time. And so we're gonna have the come to Jesus talk.
We're gonna have that.
You send them to us, Harold. We'll convince them.
Okay.
Got it.
This is it. The relative in bed. That's where they're gonna get straightened out.
We got you back.
All right, so back to business. Back to business.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So here we have our favorite sheriff in Fromville, Boyd, ringing that bell, buddy.
That bell. Yeah.
I love it.
And that's that first when Jim first gets there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I had a question about Smiley when you guys opened him up.
Yeah.
This
kid is great.
I know enough about filming that I know it was a lot of latex and a lot of rubber and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Digging around in that cavity, that open cavity, that body looked so real. Did it kind of creep you out when you first saw it?
Absolutely. Yeah. And so our special effects team, they are world class. They are they work for I think right now I'm losing his name, is out doing like one of the new Hobbit movies, and like they're just top of the line, the best of the best. And so it was really creepy. That thing that looked terrible, and Chloe was actually crying when she was in there. She was like, "This is gross." I'm like, "You're supposed to be the doctor. Can't cry."
Right.
You happen to know what they made the bile out of?
I don't know what that is made out of. You guys are
for
good
Halloween or
Carol, that's
something,
great.
you know.
That's fine. We'll throw it
I
out.
want to know what the pile is made out.
I will ask them. That's really
You get
good.
back to me on that, Harold. You find
Yes, I
out. You
will.
get back to me.
I will.
He wants to create.
But yeah, it's really lifelike. I think they have a real knowledge of anatomy, so they made it as real of human insides as they could. So
Yeah.
pretty good.
It was crazy. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
nasty.
Nickelodeon slime.
Exactly.
Did-
That's what it
But
should
the
be.
other question I had about one of the scenes that you did when Boyd and Sarah are out in the forest.
She hates it, but she gonna try it. Go, you can do it, Carol. You can do it.
I can do this.
Here we go.
All of the spider webs and the spiders and all of that.
Yeah.
Do you have a fear of spiders and had to get through it, or were you okay with that?
I don't like spiders at all. I don't like spiders, and I don't like spider webs. Here's the thing about doing the show. I'm telling you, I love doing the show. I don't love when I have to go home at night. Do you know what I mean? Like all this stuff that's in my head.
Yeah.
That just takes like sometimes months to clear. That's one of them. Do you know what I mean? Like just the feeling of like the things that, you know, like walking through it and you have to find my wife, Abby. Oh, there's Abby. Like, can we stop? Can we stop? We have to keep shooting this. It's just creepy. So yeah.
It
that
gives
stuff is
PTSD,
creepy.
didn't it?
Then you just go home and have dreams about walking through spiders.
Were any of them real? Were any of the spiders real that were on you?
No.
No.
Special effects. Not spiders, not the worms, not anything. Those are really great special effects.
It's
And
Carol.
more than spiders, I hate worms. And so
It's Carol who loves blood and guts but hates spiders.
Yes.
No, right? She's like, kill them. I don't care. Keep the spiders.
The reason I asked that is one of our guests we had last year, Carrie Genzel, who was on Supernatural, did an episode with spiders, and they wore real spiders on her.
Oh, really?
Oh shit! Yeah. Where goes Carol? She's done out. She out. Yeah.
And Carol's gone. Bye. Carol faded. 911.
Just can't do it. No.
That's pretty funny.
I mean, rip off an arm, show me some guts. I'm all right with that. Worms coming out of the mouth, I don't care. But don't you put
No
anywhere near me. It's not
You know,
gonna
luckily we haven't had, at least I haven't had snakes.
Nope.
That's right.
Yeah, you guys crack me up. I don't get it.
Not the three of them. I can handle snakes. I love snakes. I can handle the snakes. It's the three of them that can handle it.
I'm telling you.
Baby, like, no.
It's little Judith.
Y'all need one of those on the show. Y'all need a from baby. A from kid.
Oh my gosh.
There's nothing creepier than the monsters. Can you imagine a little from monster? A little
We fall in love with you guys. We fall in love with everything.
yeah.
Right, Dawn?
Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
Like, I gotta get that. I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
So in thinking about the show, Harold, Hadis Iconic posed the question as to thinking like Harold would, looking at the script. Why do you think the people in town have not gotten together and shared their experiences to try to put the pieces together? Because I am very much 100% thinking that Victor and Ethan are going to solve the problem. They're going to get everybody home somehow. So It just seems like everybody's had these experiences, but nobody sat down and went, all right, y'all, we got to talk some shit. What's going on here? What's everybody dealing with, right?
Right. And here's the thing that I think that John has done, our writer has done, is really, really brilliant. And I feel like it's really seamless. No one has had time. Like every time somebody finds a new thing out, just in dealing with it, something else happens to somebody else. So every time Jade has a like, oh, I saw a thing, then something happens in the town and he doesn't have time to talk about it. Somebody, you know, just died, or they can't sleep, or they're cracked in their sleep, or whatever happens. You know what I mean? And I think nobody's had time to sit down. And by the time everybody splits off when it's nighttime, you're just trying to get through the day. You're just trying to get through all the things that happen to that day. And I think that John does that really, really beautifully. I don't think that there are many moments that you can point to where people could have said like, hey, do you know what happened to me? Because they're at a funeral. They're, do you know what I mean? They're deciding who's going to live where, or who's going into the box or not, or, you know what I mean? And so I think they just have to they all have to find a moment where they can go, wait, what did you say? And then it will connect. But so far,
constant survival mode.
Yeah, just how do we get through the next moment?
Because really, you don't see that kind of a sit-down conversation past that episode where, you know, Boyd and Abby are sitting in the diner with Katri and Donna, and they're saying like, what, y'all stay in holes every night, you know, and you kind of pulled together a plan for them.
Right. Because I don't know if you noticed, but as soon as like our show starts with the family arriving, and it hasn't stopped yet. They have like 100 and something days of like nothing happened, and it hasn't stopped yet. They showed up and it's just through. Like
somebody needs to take that ocean board down. 100 days since an accident.
So, yeah, so crazy. It's really wild.
So there is a ongoing debate in the fandom, and pardon me because I'm going to have to read this, but Ralph Nader from the From Group, he brings up this ongoing debate that in the scene in second episode in season 2, right after Boyd's meeting with Martin, where Boyd then encounters one of the dogs we sometimes see in the wood. Boyd chases after the dog, and at one point it sounds like you might be calling the dog Gus. And in fact, the closed captioning on television says Gus. This has created a feisty debate among the fandom, as some believe Boyd called the dog Gus, while others believe Boyd was just out of breath and stammered his words, and the closed captioning was wrong.
The closed captioning was wrong.
Yay! All right.
Debate.
Debate is over.
I never call him Gus. No. Never comes up.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
Yeah. Closed captioning messed up.
I love it. I love it.
That's really funny. It's so interesting how the things that the people watching pick up, like I, you know, because we know the show, like we'll be looking here, but you know, somebody watching goes, but what about that over there? Like disgusting. Like I would never have even looked for that. And so it's really, really interesting. Like people are piecing together what season 3 is going to be about just based on like watching the little teaser. And it's like the things that people think of are amazing.
I've watched season 1 and 2 5 times already. So
what?
Yeah.
Wow. And you probably know more about it than any of us do. So you probably got real theories, because John is not telling us anything. He just says, oh yeah, that's a good idea. That's interesting. He won't tell us a single thing, and I think that's great.
So do you have a theory?
I don't.
No,
I don't have a theory. I like to be where Boyd is, and every time he thinks he has a theory, something new happens, and so he's really struggling. He's really struggling trying to figure out what to do, because he just can't get a single through line anywhere. Each time he tries, it goes off the rails, and you'll see in season 3 it's the same thing. He thinks he has it. It's like, oh, this might and then it just goes off the rails.
So I take it you guys don't get a lot of scripts in advance. Would you get them like a week airs time before?
We get them about a week ahead. Yeah,
a week ahead.
About a week ahead. Sometimes a little bit more. The first couple we get pretty quickly, and they're still in the writers' room as we're going. And so, well, John is right. John and Jeff Pinkner are there.
Right,
They're
right.
really writing away. And so, yeah, we don't. Sometimes we don't get them until the day of, and like not the script, but there are scenes missing or things like that, and so we get them. It's like we got to do this, add this in. So
Right.
pretty cool. Yeah.
So I have a question. If you could choose any character from a TV series to join Boyd and Frumville, who would it be?
Probably somebody from a Marvel thing, because I need some superpowers. I need somebody with some kind of superpowers to help me out, because I'm having a hard time. I would take Wanda from WandaVision. Come and do her witchy magic and get us out of there, because
That's fantastic. I love that. I love that.
Just choose Doctor Strange. He can get you in and out of there.
You jump in that telephone booth and you'll get out of there.
You are already in a multiverse.
I usually go to Dawn on my theories on shows and stuff. I usually just say, it's all a dream. Dawn will get right into it. I'm like,
we're all at Dallas again.
My current theory right now is going to make a lot of people angry, but the one that I'm entertaining right now is I'm kind of leaning towards the fact that Victor is the mastermind behind all of this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I mean, that would be one of those things that those writers would do, is they would really, really screw with you and say, this is this great, sweet, lovable character, and everybody adores Victor, and he couldn't hurt a flea, and blah, blah, blah. And by the end of all of this, in season 12 or 15, whenever it is, we find out that Victor's the mastermind.
Mind blown.
Yeah, exactly. And that would be the ending that I want, after he kills everybody.
After he kills everybody.
In a bloodbath.
In a bloodbath.
In a bloodbath.
And it's
what's
chasing
gonna
away
happen
by
in season
spiders.
3? Everybody's dead.
By spiders, right?
And I fell down the rabbit hole of looking up legends and lore for the Eastern Canadian and the Nordic legends and lore and demonology and witchcraft and the game. And so, my mind is all going in that pattern and direction. So, yeah.
Brittany's dad, my father-in-law, had a really interesting thing because of the numbers in the bottle, because Jade saw that soldier. He thinks that we're somewhere in South Carolina, and it has something to do with the Civil War, or about the effects of things that all happened in the Civil War, because it all started. Because I think there is a date, or there are numbers that look like the date when the Civil War started. So he thinks it has something to do with that. And I thought that was an interesting theory. You too. You got
that's John's theory. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah,
I love this idea of like going through all these different Nordic lore and just trying to come up with where
we definitely want to go do a location tour, but it might take us a minute to get up there.
Well, whenever you do, let me know, because if we're up there, you guys are more than welcome to tour.
Boom shakalaka.
We're going.
Boom shakalaka. You guys know somebody. So.
I'm on my way tomorrow.
Here in the calendar.
Look, it's always there. They built that set, and it's always there. They built, and you love it. And Jack Bender is there using the same crew, and he's doing a Stephen King thing right now. So
Fantastic.
I don't think that's a secret. I hope it's not, because
that's amazing. We won't tell anybody. It's just the four of us.
That's all.
So, Vinnie Borden he says, I'm going to get a lot of hate from this. And this is Vinnie Borden. He says, but who threw the rope? So does Harold have any thoughts on who threw the rope, or does Boyd?
Harold has a ton of thoughts on it.
Well, come on now. All right, Vinny, that's all you get. Harold has a lot.
Harold has a ton of thoughts.
To be determined. There we go. To be
One of the things I can't talk about.
Okay, well, there we go. To be determined.
Yeah.
And then I have a question from the group from Donna Patel. Will Boyd find out more information about the talisman in season 3?
We found out more information about the talisman. Hold on, let me run through because I think the answer is no. I think the answer is no.
I see his Rolodex going click, 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 click.
Yeah. There are lots of things we find out in season 3. And so that's what I'm trying to run through. There are lots of, so that's one of the things because of the Lost connection, people keep going like, oh, are they going to answer questions? And if you ever get to talk to Jeff Pinkner or John Griffith, they're going to tell you something I think is really great. They're like, we're going to answer a ton of questions. We really are. But we never wanted to do a show about questions. So we'll answer the questions. The next question is, now what?
We're going to give you more questions.
Right. And that's it. Like we'll answer them. Like, yeah, here's the answer to that. But now what? And that's the part of the show that winds up being really, really intriguing. It's not you don't want to have a show about like it's only about 20 questions. It's really about these people and how they're gonna get through. It's a real character study, even though it's wrapped in this horror genre. So yeah, you're gonna get the answer to a lot of questions, but I don't actually think that that's one of the ones. I'm wrong. There's some information, but it's not that much. It's not. Okay. It's not earth shattering.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me because when Lost was on, Lost, the studying of that show was actually introduced into a lot of colleges into their psychology classes, their courses, as character studies and human survival and that kind of stuff too. And I can see this show doing the same thing.
Right. That's one of the things I really love about Lost. And again, I know we talked in the beginning about hating the ending. But wasn't the journey good?
It was.
Right. That was 6 years of a journey. The journey was so good. The ending was one thing. It's like, yes. And I totally understand sort of the letdown, but the journey was so like, you met people and you talked to people. I know so many people like, we got married. I had my first kid. We did that journey was so epic. That it was, I was really excited to be part of that show. I'm really, really happy that I got to do that show. It was and like I said, I really do understand the feeling of feeling let down. But you just can't beat the 6 years that all those questions and all the time it took and all the water cooler questions and traveling to Hawaii and looking up things. So good. Really.
And it truly is. It's the ride. And enjoying
the ride is really good.
And enjoying each episode as it comes. And, we as fans of the show are 1,000% invested now. We have our favorites and we're like, if this one dies, we're going to riot. And if this one dies, and of course, our favorites are the ones that have been on our podcast. So, and we were really sad when Smiley died. We were really sad when they killed Jamie off because
so were we.
He's such a cool kid. And, he's such a cool young man. And so humble. And, but we're all invested in it and we're just, amazed at it.
Yeah. And I can't wait to talk to you guys again at the end of season 3.
Yeah. So one of the things that they did on The Walking Dead that was really cool was as the actors were killed off, they had death dinners. Do you guys do any kind of celebrations of the time that actor was with you as far as coming together when they exit your show?
That's a really great idea.
There we go.
That's a really great idea. Yeah, that's something that's a really great idea. Yeah.
Thumbs up. Relishing the Dead. Great idea.
That's a really good idea.
So are we going to ask the questions, girls, at the end?
Oh, God, yes. Oh. Sable bourbon.
Oh, Sable bourbon. Yes.
tell me where I can get a bottle. We're going to get drunk one night. And we're going to talk about it.
Yes, you'll get some. So look, I did it with my buddies from The Best Man. They're a great bunch of guys. Sable, today was our first day on social media, and that's just introducing it. It will be it'll be the actual release date is September 4th. It'll be the first day that you can get it at sablebourbon.com, and then we start going into stores throughout September in the States. We're made in Tennessee, so it'll for sure be there.
What part of Tennessee?
Not there yet. If I can get a chance to send you guys some, I will. I don't know if you drink bourbon. I do, but it's great. It's great. We partnered with a company called Bespoken Spirits, and they have done a great job. It's a really cool company, and the way that they make spirits is different than anybody else, and they're really conscious environmentally, and so we like save on water and barrels and all this other stuff. And then it's a really cool company. So that's Sable Bourbon. It really is. You're gonna love it. It's delicious. And we're cooking up drinks. Huh?
You know where in Tennessee?
I don't know the city, the region that they're in. I don't. And they just moved there a year and a half ago. We've been working on it for about 2 years, and they moved there about a year and a half ago. So
We're excited.
I'll ask Lisa the exact.
Yeah, because we have a lot of places like that around here. So it's just
right.
Yeah, we saw your Instagram post, and I saw Tay and I saw Morris in there.
Right.
Are they the ones that you partnered with?
Yes, that was Tay Morris and Malcolm Lee from The Best Man. Malcolm Lee is the one who wrote and created The Best Man, and so we all have such a great relationship that's lasted over the last quarter decade, and we wanted to find something else to do together because we're not sure there's going to be another iteration, and so we came up with this bourbon that's going to be. She'll try.
I can't wait. I mean, I am a bourbon girl, and I am over the heels, and I'm like, we got to do a live review.
Yeah, you do.
We'll talk about it. Absolutely, we'll pop.
Absolutely, thank you. I think you guys will like it, and we really like it, and wanted to share it with everybody because it's fun. Totally fun.
Well, one of the things that we always do with our guests as we end our show is we do the James Lipton questions. And I'm sure you're familiar with James Lipton inside this actor studio.
Of course I am.
So we're going to do the Lipton questions, and we've actually added a couple of our own as well. So
great.
Carol, you begin with our love.
Okay, Harold, we're going to start off with the biggie because it's my favorite question in the whole wide world. And feel free not to censor yourself.
Okay.
What is your favorite curse word?
Okay, so here's the deal about my favorite curse word. I don't know if it's my favorite curse word or if it's the person who says it. So in Natural Born Killers, what's her name? Do you guys know the movie Natural Born Killers?
Yeah.
Let me tell you a quick story about Natural Born Killers.
Go.
Natural Born Killers is loosely based on a guy named Charlie Starkweather.
Okay.
Okay, Charlie Starkweather was a distant cousin of my father's. My maiden name is Starkweather. Okay. I had a girlfriend. This is probably why I like blood and mayhem.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.
Had a girlfriend named Carol. Okay. So had they got married, her name would have been Carol Starkweather, which is what my maiden name is. So when I tell you that I love Natural Born Killers and I love Woody Harrelson in that movie, that's why. It's the family connection. So watch it.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So go ahead. Tell us about your curse
So what's
word.
her name? I can't think of her name right now.
Juliette Lewis.
Juliette Lewis. When she goes fucker, something about the way she says fucker it's my favorite ever. Like I was walking around calling people fuckers for like years after that, but it's because of the way Juliette Lewis said it.
Yeah.
So that was my favorite person.
That's awesome.
Fucker.
Yeah.
All right. So what is, other than your curse word, what is your favorite word?
My favorite word. Oh wow. My favorite word is, and it used to not be my favorite word, but it really is. Possibility is my favorite word. And when I was younger, people would say to me, "You're filled with possibility," and I was like, "Why can't it all be possible happening now? What am I waiting for?" But I just didn't understand it. I didn't understand it, and possibility. It really is like. That I get to meet you guys. Like, could I have considered it? Sure, but who knew you guys were here in the world?
Thank you.
Well, I'm in the world. So possibility is what I'm.
Possibility. All right. So what's your least favorite word?
My least favorite word. My least favorite word. That's a good one. I might have to come back to that one because it's a tricky one. It's so tricky. It's like pain, and it's not about me. And it's like I know that we need pain to grow, but you know what the worst part of being a dad? Teething. The first time you get a shot, the first time you lose your boyfriend, and something about the pain of it all. Maybe because I have all girls. Every time they're hurt,
Yes.
I just want to literally pass out myself. I hate the pain that they go through, and so. But I know that they have to. Like, right? That's what.
Cry again.
And I should embrace pain because pain makes us go another way. But I kind of hate it.
I love that though. That's beautiful though. I love it.
I hate it. Yeah.
Okay. Next.
Okay.
All right. What turns you on?
Of course, you asked that question.
I wanted it.
So you guys, can you turn your cameras off? I want to talk about myself.
We all want to know the answer to this one, honey. The audience wants to know the answer to this one.
Always my question, just so you know.
I don't remember James Lipton asking that one. What turns me on? It's like possibility, but exploration turns me on. I'm an explorer at heart.
Hell yeah!
I like exploring. You just never know what you're gonna find. So that's a barb. I can't even look up anymore.
Okay. What turns you off?
What turns me off?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there are lots of things that turned me off. Ignorant hatred.
There you go. Amen.
You know what I mean? When you're blinded by things and you don't actually have any real understanding of it.
Right.
You just hate it because you heard you were supposed to hate it. That really, that turns me off.
That's the best.
I want to go back to being turned on.
Okay. Well, girls, get out of the room. Him and I. All right. So one of my added questions is one of mine. If you could have a dinner party and you could invite 3 actresses or actors, dead or alive, who would they be?
I would do Paul Robeson.
Okay.
because of the time that he lived in and all the things that he could do, like being an athlete and an actor and a scholar and an activist. So Paul Robeson would be one. Um, um, I would invite Uta Hagen, who's an acting teacher but was also an actress. She like one of the early method people, but like from Stanislavski, and then redid the method. So Paul Robeson, Uta Hagen, and those are the people who would like, tickle my brain. And then
Someone to
I'd
tickle
probably
you.
sit down with Pacino.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'd like to know what Pacino does.
Yeah.
Pacino would be, I bet you he's cool. Like I've seen him out a few times. I've
Right.
never spoken to him like directly. A friend of mine introduced me. He's like, this is Al Pacino. I was like, hey. But Pacino would be a cool one. Yeah,
There you go. There you go.
Good question.
Go on.
What's your favorite sound?
My favorite sound,
Mhm.
my youngest one laughing.
Oh,
She's got like she feels everything, you guys. She feels everything. So when she cries, it's terrible. It's the worst thing you ever heard. When she laughs, you're like, whatever is happening must be the funniest thing that's ever happened in the whole world.
And your girls have the most beautiful names. Is it okay? if we say them?
Thanks. Yeah, they're really
Aurora, Winter, and Holiday. They're just
Yeah.
they're
good.
that's
But
wonderful
that little one, when
embodying.
she laughs, Jesus Christ, I love it.
all right. And then what's your least favorite sound?
Yeah. That sucks. My mom is not alive anymore, but I got woken up once. This is a terrible story. By the police banging on our door, and they were banging on the door because my mom was out beating a car with a baseball bat, the car of the lady that my dad had been.
That's fantastic. And we're just now hearing this.
But the sound that she was making when she hit the car was kind of, she was really upset.
That's a horrible story, but your mom.
But it's a hysterical story because she's fully killing the car. She's gonna kill that car to death.
So don't cross mom. That was the moral of that story.
That's the moral of that story.
And then I add a question like Barb does. If you could pick 3 musicians or bands, dead or alive, to come to a party or you like to dance to, since we know you like to dance, who would you pick?
Jimi Hendrix for sure. I would love to hang out with Jimi Hendrix. That would be like awesome. Luther Vandross, because I just want him to sing to me the whole time. Luther, Jimmy, who else? Who else would be there? So again, there's so many great artists out there that it's really hard to pick. I don't know. It might be a shit show, but James Brown might be interesting.
Oh my Lord.
It might be a shit show, but it could be kind of interesting.
It'll be a fun shit show. It'll be a fun shit show.
I'm just trying to figure out the segue between Luther to James Brown.
So Luther is like my high school years and stuff like that, but James is my dad's, and so that would be playing in our house.
Oh my Lord, how funny!
But then, like the first time I met a girl or fell in love, like Luther Vandross is the soundtrack of all.
Yes.
Harold
Van Ross, Keith Sweat, Freddie Jackson.
But Luther's the pinnacle.
Luther is yes.
So Bill,
I don't know how I didn't mention Whitney Houston, but I didn't mention Whitney Houston because you didn't ask me if I would have married anyone else. Who would that be? It would have been Whitney Houston.
Bill D in the comments says your mom sounds like Donna. That's probably very accurate. I love that.
That's probably
Thanks for
pretty
that, Bill.
accurate.
Oh, that's great.
All right,
Pretty
so
accurate. That's really cool.
my questions for you. If you could do any other profession other than your own, what would you do? And I think I saw somewhere something you said. So what would you like to do?
That's really I don't really know, but I'd like to do something kind of like Boyd. I'd like to be of service in some way. Like I feel like in that Bob Marley way, like I'd like to come in the world and make it a little better by the time I leave. I don't know exactly what it would be, but it'd probably be something where I could.
That's not what I read.
What did you read?
That you wanted to be a UFC fighter.
Don't believe everything you read.
There was a time. Look, today before this, I came home from my jiu-jitsu class and I'm like, "You're too old. Why are you doing this? It hurts. What are we doing?" So I was probably when I was still like really like thinking I was going to be able to do it. And I was too old then. so I've had a change of heart, but I still go to jiu-jitsu anyway.
What profession would you never want to have to try?
Do you know those guys who come to this is gonna sound terrible. This is but when they come they clean out like porta potties.
Oh yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out.
I mean, people have to do it, but I'm out.
It's just that sucking noise.
That's this is not for me. This is like a night, and it's a noble enough. It's not for me.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Suck no blow.
Shit wrangling is not my deal.
Shit wrangler. Exactly.
But,
what are 3 of your all-time favorite movies?
Oh, we were just talking about this. Somebody else. There's a movie that made me like want to be an actor. This movie called Cooley High that I saw when I was a kid. I really loved. And before Cooley High, I am the biggest West Side Story. Steven Spielberg did a great job with that first West Side Story.
The original.
I mean, every time Tony gets shot, I'm just like, no, not Tony. But like, yeah, of course. But yeah, not Tony. And the very first Matrix film, the very first Matrix one, I was really kind of like, the Wachowskis really blew my mind with that one. I really loved it. I thought it was great.
Oh, that's amazing.
This idea of reality, of what reality is, I thought was really, really cool.
And my last question is the very last Lipton question. If heaven exists, what do you hope to hear God say to you when you reach the pearly gates?
Oh, I'd like to hear him say, "Oh, you're right about that." So there's a thing. There's only one thing. When I was growing up as a kid in Brooklyn, and then there were lots of opportunities to be part of like the drug business. They were just, young men in desperate places, and so there's lots of opportunities to do that. And in my head, I kept thinking, if I sell drugs, when I die and I go to heaven and God says, so let me ask you, you come from a depressed community, you sold money, you sold drugs to people in there, you made the community worse. Why did you do that? And I go, I needed the money? Like, I just don't want to have to answer that question. I want God to be like, yeah, you're right. I would have asked you that. I would have asked you if you had. You're right. So I just never did it. And so that's what I want to. I want God to go like, yeah, you're right about that. Yeah. Now let me talk to you about this other stuff. You know, Barb, and all those things that you were thinking. No.
Exploration.
You grew up in Brooklyn, you said?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, how long were you there? Because I'm from Long Island originally.
You are, and that's what it sounds like. I didn't want to say that. You said you're in Tennessee, but like you sound.
Yeah, I was born and raised.
I was in Brooklyn most of my life until like in my 20s. I went away to college and then I came back and still had to live in Brooklyn when I was going to the Albanelli school and then at some point moved out and just kind of moved all over Brooklyn and then in the Bronx and stuff like that. So I was in New York for the very beginning part of my career. Aurora is born in New York, and
you went to Aramis High School in Flatbush, right?
I went to Erasmus Hall. Yep,
Erasmus Hall in Flatbush.
Yeah. And so I'm a Brooklyn boy through and through. So
Long Island.
Yeah.
So we're going to give away some prizes if you want to stay on with us for some trivia. Three trivia questions.
Oh, but I actually have to go because
Okay.
my wife is literally texting me like she's got. So
get off the line with those 4 women. Let's go.
But ladies, I have had such a good time.
Thank you.
But you guys do your trivia questions and let me come back with Liz and Scott.
Absolutely.
Real quick, Harold,
Okay.
I just want to mention real quick that you may be getting contacted by a company called the Camp Events.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people that we're actually going live on their Facebook feed tonight, along with our Facebook feed. The Camp Events is the group where we all met. Okay. And it is a convention like no other. It is not like your people are coming up to your table and you're staying at a table all day long. It is a family event. And so I would highly recommend and would absolutely be thrilled if you are open-minded to what they have to say.
Okay.
Because our family has been clamoring for them to get actors from to come to the camp, and we've been begging them. And like we have
That's
special
what that
events
thing was
and stuff like
about.
that. Probably.
Popped up and said, "We'd like to have a Harold at our camp."
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that's about. Got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Not a deer camp. Not a deer camp.
I didn't know what it was.
So I'm going to let you go on that note. Thank you for coming with us.
you.
All right. Thank you guys. This was
Love you.
amazing.
Love
Amazing.
you. Thank you.
I'll talk to you
Bye-bye.
later. Bye.
Bye. Wasn't he wonderful?
He's fantastic.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, he was
He's all right.
absolutely amazing.
He's all right.
He's
We
all right.
told you. We told you.
Love him.
All right, so we've got some prizes to give away. If you guys saw earlier, we have 2 copies of the artwork to give away. And we're also giving away a talisman so you can hang it in your house and keep you safe from the monsters.
Ooh,
Right.
monsters.
All right, so
Great.
keep in mind, please, that there is possibly a lag with everyone. So we're all going to be trying to look at the answers and getting the very first correct answer. The winners, if you would please reach out to me on Facebook, Eliza Jones on Facebook, or you can leave a message on our podcast page. That'd probably be even easier. Just go to our podcast page, and if you like our page, you'll be able to send us a message. All right, here we go. First question. Dum. Who's got the first question? I think Barb, you do.
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
All right. In the beginning, what is the first thing Boyd finds in the forest? Yes, we are talking about From.
Looks like Bitey.
Bitey. Yeah, Bitey or Bitty. Bitey or I like Bitey better. Bitey gotta go. Bitey gotta go.
Heidi got it.
Bitey got it. Congratulations, Bitey. All right, who's got the second one?
Is that me?
That's you. Bitey, you'll be getting a print.
Okay. What does Victor offer Tabitha to eat in the box truck? What does Victor offer Tabitha to eat in the box truck?
Bitey, we're gonna Bill D.
Bill D got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heidi, you were first, but since you already want a print, we're going to give it to Bill D. Okay.
Yes.
All right, Bill D, you get a print, and this is for the talisman. And if you have already won, we would like to, let others have a chance as well. So the next question is, what did Donna say to Fatima after hearing that Fatima was pregnant but unable to have children? I need the full quote. What does Donna say to Fatima after hearing that she's pregnant but not able to have children? Anybody? I feel like Bueller.
No,
Bueller?
that's a little difficult.
Okay. Nobody?
We'll give it like 5.
Okay.
Probably typing it out.
4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So the quote that Donna says to Fatima is, "A miracle is just the other side of a nightmare."
Yes, Sandy, we are seeing your comments.
Yeah. All right. So since nobody got that one, the follow-up question is, what is Ethan's favorite food to eat at the diner? What is Ethan's favorite food to eat at the diner? Kiki.
You got it.
Kiki.
Kiki for pancakes.
Yay. Good job, Kiki.
Yeah. Oh, what a fantastic night, guys.
Yes.
Gals.
That was a lot of fun.
Thanks
And
for
thank you all for joining us too, all the From groups and the camp page. Thank you all for being here.
Yeah. And stay posted. We're working on getting some of the other From casts. We made contact tonight with one. So stay with us, like our page, follow us. If you're fans of From, you got to be fans of The Walking Dead, and we'll start talking about it when they start back as well. So yeah, this was fantastic.
Yeah.
I got my cheeks hurt.
Up our Patreons.
Yep.
Okay, we'd like to thank our Patreons and financial supporters of our show: Destiny Lorimar, Terry and Kay Collier, Sandy Morrison, Tracy Killen Stokes, Ben and Melissa Gilbert, Pamela Blythe, Marianne Craig, Brandon Cade, Jason Cohn, Wesley and Sarah Hale, Randy Nickel, Jasmine Mullins, Edward and Diana Ponce Krupa, Casey and Katrina Florig, Jason Hill, Jonathan and Michelle Cooley, David Tuckerman, Tina Stronberg, Debbie Juno Jerome, and Dustin Baker. And a very special thank you to Oscar and Casey, who run the camp.
We love them.
Yes. And then if you like to check us out, we have a Facebook page, guys. And then I know there's a lot of new viewers. That Facebook page is a page where we do games and give away prizes every month. Our podcast page is where we interact with you all and also stream the podcast. We have an Instagram page, YouTube. If you like to go subscribe to us on YouTube, we'd appreciate and give us that like and share and follow. We are on Spotify, Twitter. We have our own merchandise, and we have a Patreon, and it's anywhere from $10 to $20 a month. And you get like a Patreon shirt. We give back to the community, so it's the cost of a coffee. You buy one coffee a day, you've paid your Patreon for the month.
And I was going to ask you why they would want to be a Patreon, Don, but you've already said it.
Yes, I was one ahead.
Yes, you did. All right. That's it.
Thank you all for joining, and Harold was a pleasure. He was just fantastic, and I can't imagine us having all three at the same time. Oh my God.
It's going to be a drunk fest.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. We love you guys. Thank you for being with us.
Bye.
Bye.